how hard did the coaches coach you on mistakes or plays that needed to get better? And what was the process like reviewing it with this new staff, reviewing your first game, and kind of going over the good and the bad?
Yeah, I think it was certainly very clear, to us as players when mistakes that we made were things we got to correct, and we did that. We did that together, and I thought the communication was clear, and going out to practice today, I thought guys were on the same page and understood the urgency and the importance of each of those corrections. So there were certainly good things from the game that we also discussed and obviously want to grow with and build on. But yeah, as far as corrections and fixing mistakes, the communication was clear and I think I know the guys understand the urgency as to which it needs to be corrected.
One quick follow-up. When you guys get to the line of scrimmage and you have a play call, if a protection needs to be shifted, is that your job? Do you have the freedom to do that? Is that on Nick Gates, the center? Is that on the coaches? What is your process like at the line?
Yeah, that's certainly my responsibility. I think through all the protections, me and Gates will work together as far as how we want to idea it, and it's my responsibility to make sure we're in the right protection and it's identified the right way.
Daniel, as I'm sure you're aware, tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of you being named starting quarterback of the Giants. I'm just kidding. I'm sure you're not aware of it. What have you learned in the last 365 days about being a franchise quarterback and a starting quarterback?
Certainly a lot. I think I've learned a lot on the field, playing football, scheme and understanding the game and a lot and how to prepare and get ready to play and I think a lot of stuff in between. So I think, ultimately the importance of learning, the importance of improving every day, of not repeating mistakes and continuing to build and constantly grow as a player, as a member of the team. And I think that's ultimately what's most important. And I think I've certainly realized that in the last year. And I think most players know that, and I think it's extremely important at this level.
How about in terms of the outside expectations and the scrutiny that the position is under? Did that anything there that caught you by surprise?
I think I understand the expectation and responsibility of playing quarterback for representing the New York Giants, and I take that very seriously, take that responsibility seriously, and something I think constantly learning and constantly understanding how to best do that.
Joe Judge was saying the other day and again today that he wants you to stay aggressive and that he's more concerned with you maintaining your aggressiveness than worrying about turnovers or you playing timid. I'm just curious, as a quarterback, how do you do that while also working on protecting the football? Like, what do you need to do differently to maintain that aggressiveness but also be mindful of not turning it over?
I think just at this level, you got to be able to do both. You have to be able to play aggressive and take care of the football. That's the job, and that's the expectation. So continuing to understand what the defense is doing, to take what they give you, and when the look's not there, get rid of the ball or find a back or do something to get it out of your hand. So just continuing to work on that. And I think at this level, you're expected to be able to do both. And that's something I certainly expect of myself.
How much of that is being able to replicate game speed in practice and maybe situations that you might see on the field? And how much of it is just kind of, retention from film study and all that stuff to kind of get it in your mind? Okay, I need to get rid of the ball quicker here. I need to avoid putting the ball into harm's way there. Like, what's that process like?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're constantly learning, whether it's on the field or whether it's, watching film and studying an opponent or, certainly watching, your own film. I think that's, each of those, however you can learn, I think you got to use, a variety of different ways and it's something you're always working on.
Hey, Danny, I want to ask about a specific play on that 19-yard drive. The play right before you had to throw the ball across your body to Saquon on 4th down was a 3rd down scramble where you ran out of bounds, a guy chasing you, and you came up a yard short. I'm wondering if you didn't stretch the ball out there out of, a wariness of not fumbling it. If that's, if pulling the ball out obviously is a dangerous thing to do. I'm wondering if that's why, if that was in all the work you did on not fumbling, if that was in your mind there.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we talk about as a team, and something Coach Judge has emphasized. We're not going to stretch the ball out, in those situations unless it's 4th down or kind of a 2-point situation or something where it's absolutely necessary to get the yard and the risk is worth it. But in those situations, protecting the ball is certainly the most important thing.
What's the conversation like when you go over the second interception? What's the feedback on that? And also, what makes that Darius Slayton special and that connection with you really work?
Yeah, I think the second interception was, a situation where I just needed to get the ball out of my hand sooner and ultimately trying to throw it away, but needed to make that decision sooner. So, that was that. I think, Darius showed up and played a great game Monday night. I think he's someone who you can really trust and rely on to be in the right spot and finds a way to get open, a lot. So he's a really good football player, someone you can count on. And, I've enjoyed working with him, enjoyed playing with him, so far.
Hey, Daniel, following up on the Darius question, is that comfort with him something because you came in as rookies together, or is the game plan not set up, but is he a target more because of your comfort?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly, plan for guys to get the ball on certain plays and against certain looks. And, it's our job to, my job to understand, which look, is who's supposed to get the ball in which look. And, we design plays for everyone and it's dictated by the defense where the ball goes. So, he's certainly a big time playmaker for us and, did a good job Monday night.
I'm curious, I know you're a big film guy, game prep. When you're off yesterday, how much do you go back to what you worked on the Bears last year, knowing that it's an opponent that you faced, the second time? I think the only other one last year may have been Washington, at least by my count off the top of my head. Curious what you see. Do you see any familiarity or similarities on how you may be able to go after them?
Yeah, I took a look at that game yesterday and there's possibly some similarities here and there. It's the same system on defense and, certainly we're in a different system. So, I think you can take, little pieces from it, but, I expect they'll defend us and have, a little bit of a different game plan this year, with the new system. So, it's helpful to some extent, but, we got to prepare for this week and use what, what they did this week and then, certainly other games from their season last year.
I know it was a little later in the season last year. It wasn't obviously right at the beginning, but when you see yourself, when you're watching them, do you see a different quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I certainly feel like I've improved a lot since then. And you know, I would hope I would have, and hope to continue to improve.